Hello, welcome. My name is Zima and I'm the CEO of Respilon. We are actually a company that works with nanofibers, and today we're going to spend some time together to introduce you our revolutionary window screen, Respilon window membrane we call it. First thing is that I would like to actually explain you what the nanofibers are about. Nanofibers is actually like a new material which we make in Czech Republic, and our company is actually specialized that we develop new products from nanofibers and we actually commercialize them across the whole globe. I would like to present you the key problem that we are actually fighting with, and this is actually air pollution. Air pollution is one of the biggest problems because it kills about 7 million people every year, and also there is 4.5 million premature deaths. And this is quite serious issue, and the nanofibers have the ability to actually fight with that. The air pollution is actually not only outside, it's actually mainly inside, where we spend almost 85% of our time. So that means in homes, restaurants, airports, offices. The solution that we want to fight as a tool is actually the nanofiber. But what is actually nanofiber? Nanofiber is actually very tiny fiber which is in the diameters of 50 to 150 nanometers. And the scale is that 1 nanometer is actually 1 billionth of a meter. And this is like you take a tennis ball and compare to the planet Earth. The fibers are actually laid by the technology that was developed in the Czech Republic, are laid over each other and make a very dense mesh, which we can actually capture all air pollution particles and actually avoid them to enter respiratory tracts. Here you can see that the nanofibers are here in comparison with the human hair, and the human hair is actually 1,000 times bigger in diameter than the nanofibers that we work with. What is the advantage of the nanofibers is that they are making very dense and very fine mesh, but this mesh is actually very porous and very breathable. And from those actually type of filters or membranes, as we call it, because we can program what we want to stop and what we want to pass through, we make as a Respilon several products. The first product that we have here is actually a Respimask. Respimask is a product that substitutes a regular surgical mask, and this mask is actually very light, and the advantage is that it protects the wearer. And you wonder maybe why. It's unique, but the regular medical face mask do not protect the wearer. This is actually the only medical face mask which protects the wearer, because the regular face masks are designed to protect the surroundings. That's why, for example, the doctor is wearing the mask in the hospital, because he needs to protect the patient in front of himself, but the doctor is not protected. With our mask, yes. This mask we also make in kid size, and this is actually something which is unique. We have also different type of versions of the respiratory protection. This is another product which is actually a respirator, FFP2 or N99 as we call it. And this mask is actually unique that it does not need to have any respiratory valve, because it's so light and breathable but still capture all the viruses, bacteria and solid particles, so it can protect the wearer against the surroundings very efficiently. This black mask we have also in variant of white for medical workers or dentists. Then the other material that we have and other product is actually a scarf, which is also good for laborers because they can all the time put it out and put it back. And the filter is actually inside, so that means at that moment the worker has this scarf on his face, it all the time protects him perfectly. This is actually the package because the scarf, and as you can see the other products, we try to make in the environmental friendly way. So that means all materials that we are using are recycled or fully recyclable. The other product which we are very proud of, and it's actually new flagship for us, is actually membrane for shoes. That means that if this membrane from nanofibers is applied into the shoe, the water cannot penetrate and touch the feet of the or foot of the wearer, but still actually protects against sweating because it breathes. This is because of the high porosity. We also can make from this membrane a jackets, which are, as we can call it, let's say, water repellent, and we can make from those membranes also the apparel for laborers. But as I said, today we're going to be talking about the window membrane. So if we're going to move forward, we can see that the density of the fibers is actually very high. We can go further. Here we can actually define, let's say, the microfiber filters and the regular glass fiber, yeah? And let's say nanofiber, which is actually about, let's say, 2000 times smaller than the regular fiberglass. Our unique membrane is installed into the windows the regular way. We can install it into the fixed frames or into the rolling systems as well. The advantage of the material that we have here is that it filters all particles very efficiently, like smog, diesel fumes, some type of bacteria, mold, also the sea salt, compared to the other products which works mainly here. Regular window screens captures mosquitoes and the bugs, but they don't capture, for example, dust or pollen. For this, we have actually developed in Respilon a special membrane which can really secure homes of the users and also office buildings, hospitals, or any other, let's say, administrative buildings or schools against penetration, any air pollution from outside inside. Here we can prove, and it's actually tested. We have several testing certificates that our membrane actually works on PM2.5, which are particles which are generated by factories or by some burning, or by 98%. The diesel fumes we filter by 83%. And this is actually the comparison between the regular pollen screens and regular screens that are usually available on the market. All particle size, which are about 2.5 micrometer, we filter by 100%. How actually the membrane works? The membrane has three main layers. First is actually the breathable mesh, then there is a nanofiber applied, and then a mesh which is actually covering the mesh from inside. Generally it is made the way that the black mesh faces outside and the silver mesh faces inside. And all smoke, dust and pollen should be stopped by the nanofiber product or for the nanofiber with the nanofiber membrane. How it is stopped? If you can have a look here, this is actually what you can see by naked eye. This is the first picture. The little square inside is that big picture next to it, and the small square inside of the second picture is actually the third picture, and here you can see the porosity. The porosity is about 1 micrometer size, so everything what is actually bigger as a particle in the air can be efficiently captured by this mesh. Here you can see this is actually some testing equipment where we can see how on the top there is actually our membrane installed, and in the bottom there is let's say a regular window screen, and you can see how it actually penetrates. Through our screen, does not. This is how the membrane actually looks when the membrane is clean and new, and this is after 1 month of use. You can see that all small particles are actually captured. You can question that this mesh then gets clogged with the dust and become unbreathable, but it's very simple to use it and clean it, because at that moment you have the installation in the frame. You just take the frame out of the window, you use for example shower or garden hose, and you just clean it, let it dry and install back. The water actually makes sure that all the particles which are clogged inside of the mesh are removed. So we can say that we have here perfect help for keeping the house actually safe, and you can see that the screen is all the time installed only there in the window which the user is really using for venting. You don't need to install it in all of the windows, it's actually waste. Here are actually some of the certifications that are applied to this product. The brand, very known brand, TIFF, is actually the guarantor of the quality and of the filtration of the membrane. The way how we work is that we are actually a company which is making applications on universities, and we actually are the one who are searching the distributors worldwide, and then those distributors are actually supplying our end users. Our company is actually owned by a British company, and we are actually very proud that as a company we can work through this matter global. Currently I want to show you some practical tests that will present the functionality of the screen. This is actually the membrane that we're gonna work with today. I will cut by regular scissors a piece which I want to put under the microscope and show you. Here are the nanofibers. You can see them. Those squares are made by the fabric, but the little yarns inside are very dense, and this is actually the nanofiber which are capturing the small particles. It almost can look like that there is nothing inside. But let me actually make the presentation very clear. because I want to show you how it works in practice. We have here a special dust which correlates to 2 micrometer size particles and can substitute a smog. I have this dust in this little chamber and I use the injection as the product or tool that's gonna help me to show how efficiently the mesh can capture all the dust that I try to push through the membrane. Yeah. If you have a look here, you can see that there is no dust. But I can take regular pollen screen, and here you can see how it goes through. If you have a look here, you can see a little dust everywhere. And of course, regular window screen, you don't have to have a doubt that that goes through all. I will take now the window screen, our Respilon window membrane, and want to show you on the microscope how dirty the product is right now. You can see the dust, how it is black, and how everything is actually captured. That's why it did not pass through when it was tested. And now, what I can do, I want to perform some cleaning. This is a basket, there is regular water, and what I'm gonna do, I will just use a sponge to clean it out. It's plain water, no chemicals inside. And I can put it back under the microscope. And you can see that it's absolutely clean. Yeah, only little particles are there, but 99% of the dust is out. So that means that the cleaning is actually very simple. And should be performed time to time, and at least one time per year. Now I would like to show you actually just, let's say, a little installation process. Because what is important that at that moment you want to install it into the window, you need to make sure that that the frame that you install to the window perfectly seals to the frame of the screen. Because otherwise there will be leakage and air leakage, and the screen won't work the way how it should. I'm actually not a professional, so I'm gonna make it, let's say, very fast, but try to use, let's say, basic tools for making the installation. So the rollers, knife, tape, actually sealing rubber, and let's say that I'm not a professional, so I will start just anywhere that I like. That means I have the frame, I just put the black side outside and will make the first installation. I will use probably this. Make sure that it's inside and it holds. I'm trying to make it, as I said, I am not a professional, so I don't used to work like this, but actually most of the customers or the people who make the self-installation are not as well. With the screw driver, I make sure that I put it into the corner. Okay. And then I use actually a knife to just cut off along the side the screen. Alright, I'm trying my best actually, but it's something that I probably need more training. Yeah, here it is. But generally saying, it's actually very simple, not much complicated as you can see. And I believe that we are done with the installation. And here it is. Yeah. So I believe that we have now very nice frame. What is good that sometimes you can use special frames with some sealing tape around or some let's say brush, which makes sure that there is no air leakage under the frame. And just to show that the product perfectly works and we can prove the functionality, is that is it visible?
Mm-hmm. It was.
Yeah. Alright, so that means that actually it's very good that the screen can perfectly breathe and we can actually say that we are done for today. And I hope that our presentation was clear, and believe that your customers will be happy with such nice product that can protect their homes. Thank you.